Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. Happy Monday everybody, and get ready because this news is really all over the place. Bitcoin price action has been mundane, mainly because it was not or has not been able to overcome 12,000 US dollars. There was a brief recovery over the weekend that was supported by the Fibonacci retracement, 12,800, 400, momentum, step below 11,900. Bitcoin traded a weekend high of 11,945 at the time of writing. Bitcoin is around 11,819, and even that's not correct. The price, I don't know if you guys and gals out there have seen the chart that have been going on. There's no real anything that's actually happening right now. We keep bouncing off of the same numbers over and over, but these fluctuations look kind of insane on just about every single chart. The hunt for higher support has begun, preferably around 11,800. The relative strength index is also in the middle of a retreat from the weekend high at 57. If the movement under the midline continues and the RSI draws near 30 to oversold, we can expect Bitcoin to extend the bearish leg under 11,800. Sure, why not? That doesn't make any logical sense. So, and I'll tell you and show you exactly why. I think no one should have the word bearish and then Bitcoin anywhere within the same paragraph anytime soon. The amount of stuff that's been happening within the world economy, the amount of things that have been happening with real estate, with gold, with silver, with stocks, with equities. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic to realize that we are actually in the midst of not only multiple currency collapses, but also the largest stock market bubble that we have numerically ever experienced ever since there was a stock market. At the moment, for all the price things going on, a lot of people are fairly convinced that the cryptocurrency market is about to completely explode over the next couple of days. I don't know where they're getting it from. I don't know what their charts are showing, but for some reason, everyone's kind of in the same exact pool. For those of you not looking at the screen, this one says EOS price rises to 390. What next? This one says Ripple price forecast must go to 30 cents to get its mojo back. Sure, why not? Bitcoin hash rate hits record average high with $12,000 in sight as the price of Bitcoin continues to meet resistance, passing 12,000. I still don't believe that. Its hash rate has hit a new all-time high. Data from blockchain.com confirms that on the 15th of August, Bitcoin's 7-day average hash rate reached a peak of 129 terahashes. The achievement comes after 2 weeks of fairly stagnant hash rate growth, with the previous record set on the 28th of July. There's a little pretty chart right there. The hash rate is an estimate of how much computing power miners are devoting to processing Bitcoin transactions. A higher average suggests that miners have more faith in profitability. So there is generally a strong correlation between hash rate and price. We saw this before when Bitcoin's price had dropped from 8,000 something to 3,500. People began to turn off their mining computers because you want to be able to make sure that when your computer is plugged in and you are wasting that electricity, that you are going to be able to make back Bitcoin that can help you not only pay for the electricity, but also help you to make a profit. If Bitcoin's price is around 3,500, and it roughly costs you around 8,000 to produce a Bitcoin, while your computer is going to be unplugged. When we see more people plugging in their computers, it usually means that they have faith or think or believe in some sort of way that Bitcoin's price is going to continue rising and that therefore it is profitable for them to have their machines on. I think this is also something that needs to be said. Maybe you'll see where I'm going with this. I'm going to say this one final last time. I am not a wizard. I am not an oracle. I am not some godlike creature who has come from the heavens, or neither am I Satoshi Nakamoto or anything of the sort. A lot of people have been writing in the comment section, and I don't think they understand what it means to be me or what it means to make a prediction, as it is not called a reality-iction because it is not going to be reality iction not being a word as well. When I say stuff on this channel, there's a reason why I always say to please do your own research, or, I'm going to make an assumption or a prediction. If you look up the word prediction in the dictionary, you'll understand what a prediction is. Just because I say something does not mean that it is going to happen in the market. A lot of smart Alex in the comment section have been noting that my previous predictions, either from a year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago, 3 weeks ago, have not yet come true. That is because I am not a wizard, I am not an oracle, and I do not know the future. No one does. So just because I say something does not mean that it is going to happen. And I repeat one more time, just because I say something on this channel does not mean that you should be throwing your money into any type of market. Do your own gosh darn research and learn for yourself. Because what I feel like has happened is, now stay with me on this one, is that I've said some stuff in the past about how I feel and about how I invest and where I put my money, and it didn't work out for people or pan out how they thought or assumed that it would. A lot of people keep thinking that they're going to be hyper mega rich off of a lot of these coins, and when it doesn't happen the next week, they get a little peeved. So just understand, I am not psychic, and neither is anyone else out there. I put my money where I put my money, into cryptocurrency, art, and real estate, because I see these certain things moving in a certain direction that is beneficial for me and my wallet. Make sure before you dump your money into any market that you understand the risks and that you have your own particular reason for getting into it, and that it's simply not because you were listening to a man who is talking into a microphone. I really have to say that. There were more than about 60 comments the last couple of days really talking about, well, this video didn't age well, or that simply didn't work out. For the 99 other percent of you who have been paying attention and, understand that you also have to do your own research, or simply aren't, simply because you're nice people, we're going to move on. I mean, it's really, because if you remember at the beginning of this year, when I forecasted if we did have a major bull run, I said the same exact thing from 2017. 2017 was a monumental year. However, the beginning of 2018 was terrible. And not because the cryptocurrency prices were falling, that of course is part of it, but because so many people kept on attacking me, saying that their coins had lost value. Do you know how investing works? Like, what? Prices do not go up forever. And this is why I keep making sure to warn people, because we're going to have that same exact thing again. People aren't going to know when to cash out. They're going to start losing tons of money, and then I'll be the bad guy because I didn't tap you on the shoulder and say, now's when you have to sell. Come on. We're all adults here. I assume we're all adults here. Get it together. Like, really get it together, because I can't walk you through the valley by myself. This one says, Ripple price analysis, bullish break above 31 cents. Seems likely. This one says Ethereum price tapers, but is $500 on site. I assume they mean inside. There's also a very interesting Ethereum discussion coming up as well. And this one, in case you didn't get it by now, it says Bitcoin is poised for a big run. There's just so much going on within the cryptocurrency space. I firmly believe myself, in my eyes, for me, any price drop that's happening right now is just hyper manipulation, because there's just a lot going on when it comes to Bitcoin right now. And I guess, yeah, here we can even start right here. The total number of WBTC, or wrapped Bitcoin, or Bitcoin that are wrapped on Ethereum, have increased significantly. Wrapped Bitcoin issuance since the 9th of August has exceeded the total number of Bitcoin mined at the same time. While this tells a huge demand for wrapped Bitcoin, many people have likened the surge as a result of a booming DeFi market. In a recent tweet, Zach Foll, a digital currency analyst, shared that the top cryptocurrency is being tokenized to be used on Ethereum quicker than they are actually being issued on the Bitcoin blockchain. As Foll shared from Dune Analytics and Coin Metrics, wrapped Bitcoin issuance on the 9th of August totaled 6,785 Bitcoin, while Bitcoin mined at the same time was only 5,738. Does that sound familiar? Remember when I was all abuzz with the news about Grayscale having acquired more Bitcoin than were actually mined? Understand, there are estimates that there are at least 100 million people on this planet who are into cryptocurrencies in some sort of way, and I think it's around roughly 50 million who are into Bitcoin. Understand that there are probably a lot more people who are also doing other DeFi projects with Bitcoin, locking up Bitcoin, or simply accumulating Bitcoin in mass quicker than they can actually be produced. That was what was significant, and is still significant about the last halving, is that the issuance of Bitcoin got cut in half, but the demand still remained. And when the demand still remains from what we previously had before, it shows the massive amount of interest in Bitcoin, and the DeFi whole situation has only accelerated that. Due to the base structure of Bitcoin, it is almost impossible to transfer Bitcoin to the Ethereum blockchain. Then came wrapped Bitcoin, which enabled users to convert their Bitcoin on Ethereum and use it on the decentralized finance protocols as wrapped Bitcoin, pretty much. As more Bitcoin is being tokenized on Ethereum, it indicates that there is a high demand for Bitcoin amongst DeFi users. So just to give you the history lesson, Bitcoin is slow, got that. Ethereum's not as slow, but still pretty slow. Ethereum's supposed to have an upgrade, and the idea is that in the future, if we want to be able to transact in value in Bitcoin or through Ethereum, we'll have to do it on top of other blockchains. This is kind of the idea, and where the momentum seems to be shifting, at least for the moment. As more Bitcoin are being locked into these protocols and the new valued Bitcoins are being created on these platforms, we can then transact in Bitcoin. Especially this will become beneficial if we are able to transact in Bitcoin on top of Ethereum, if Ethereum has 10,000 plus transactions per second. But a lot of people seem to miss the really interesting part, is that this Bitcoin is being locked away into other protocols. Not only do we now have to worry about really rich people buying up all the Bitcoin, we have to also worry about the actual Bitcoin that's kind of out there simply being locked away into these protocols, potentially for years and years and years. I'm going to repeat once again, there is probably not a lot of Bitcoin circulating, or as much as people are led to currently believe. But this is only going to accelerate. This is why Ethereum and Bitcoin have been a huge focus the last couple of months, because tons of Ether is being locked inside of its own DeFi projects, which means the actual circulating supply of Ether continues to dwindle, regardless of if it is currently inflationary, which will then change during Ethereum 2.0. Same exact thing is happening for Bitcoin. Not only is Bitcoin's issuance rate going to continue falling every 4 years, it's already incredibly low. It has a lower inflation rate than especially this year to the US dollar. And now more people are like, think of that. Think mathematically. You have 100 apples. The demand is that people want 144 apples. People buy 144 apples from you, but you only have 100 apples that your trees have created. Think of how absurd that is. There's more Bitcoin being accumulated and locked up than is actually being created. Get it? In probably the most popular news story of the day, and I wish I was joking, former Prudential Financial CEO George Ball is advising wealthy investors to acquire Bitcoin because it is the only asset that cannot be undermined by the government. Ball made the comments while discussing adjustments that investors need to make to their portfolios. Now CEO at Sander Morris Harris, Ball spoke in a video call where he also offered investing tips. Explaining current sources of investor concern, Ball says that 19, which will be with us in the first quarter of next year and probably a lot longer, and the US elections are two issues on the minds of investors. However, the Sander Morris Harris boss believes that the US election is a given and that the markets have already factored in a Biden win. Instead, Ball thinks markets are looking for or waiting for a new spark. The CEO believes, here's another really important thing right now that's kind of really going all over the place, adding that he expects this to happen at night right after Labor Day. The CEO believes the best time to readjust investment portfolios would be right before this scheduled spark. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure what the time frame is linking to, but for some reason we keep getting all the mega huge popular financial analysts are saying that something crazy is going to happen in September. I'm not exactly sure why September. I read an article a day ago that was talking about the crash, air quotes, of the stock market. And once again, not a psychic, in October. I'm not sure what their metrics are showing. I'm not sure what charts they have. But for some reason, the September-October timeframe is incredibly important when it's coming to Bitcoin. I don't know why. I don't know when. But even there's also tons of news that the guy, Plan B, apparently was also recently in the news. And he was talking about that he's expecting a 20K Bitcoin sometime within the next couple of weeks as well. I guess if you really want to put it into a time frame, it comes out to around 8 to 10 weeks. Once again, not a psychic, but everyone's kind of doing and saying the exact same thing. The really interesting part for me about all of this is that apparently this guy, George Ball, apparently spoke down about cryptocurrencies for a very long time, said they were terrible, worst thing ever, you don't need them, no one's going to actually use them ever, and then now for some reason he is urging wealthy investors to start buying Bitcoin. This to me, this is an assumption because I don't know. I probably assume he and many other people have been into the cryptocurrency market since around 2016, 2017. I think 2017 was probably the biggest wake-up call for a lot of these investors when you realize that you can have a 10, 11x on your money if you had just had it in Bitcoin. That is a huge eye-opener. If you realize that you could have had 18,000% gain for some of the other altcoins in 2017. These are also huge eye openers. But as it appears right now, at the moment, that Bitcoin is the name of the game and the coin that is going to have the longest amount of longevity because it is being adopted by all the richest people, they're probably putting all their eggs into the Bitcoin basket, if not potentially other coins as well. But the name that we constantly always get from these people is always Bitcoin. Every single person that I can remember off the top of my head who at one point has spoken down about Bitcoin, called Bitcoin terrible, horrible, yada, 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 have all started purchasing Bitcoin or then let us know later that they had been purchasing Bitcoin and that they now have Bitcoin. If this person, assumption, had spoken negatively about Bitcoin for a very long time and is now urging wealthy investors to get into Bitcoin, that tells me that probably during the same exact time when he was talking down about it, he was probably also accumulating as well, just logically speaking. Once again, I think I said this about 2 or 3 days ago, when all these rich people keep coming forward talking about that they are now Bitcoin lovers, they're not buying 5 Bitcoin. They're not buying 10 Bitcoin. They're not even buying 1,000 Bitcoin. They're usually, we're constantly getting numbers that these people are buying 18,000 Bitcoin, 25,000 Bitcoin. I think the Bitcoin well is going to dry up very fast. I think that a lot of these rich people have a lot more Bitcoin than we can even begin to try to guesstimate. I think the number, oh gosh, what was it? When the Winklevoss twins were just on that guy's show, didn't they say that they have over, was it $1 or $2 billion worth? I think it was, I want to say 2.2 billion. That number sticks out of my head for some reason. But the point is they have billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. I think a lot of these people, rich people, have not even cornered the market. They've been accumulating so much in mass for the last couple of years, and people just simply have been sleeping. But remember, so this is something that I actually said that has really come true. Remember, I said there's going to be a point where all these rich people really start like hammering forward, talking about now's the time to buy. Everyone should be buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the coin to buy. It's now. All these rich people keep coming forward talking about how everyone else should buy Bitcoin. This means that they've accumulated as much as they felt like they need, or a substantial enough amount that will bring them into the billionaire circle during any type of next 2 bull runs. Anyway, yeah, it's happening. We're here. This is also tying loosely, if not directly, into this one. In a recent interview, Wall Street veteran George Ball, nope, that's not it. Nope, the same exact thing. It's right here. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. On Friday, it was reported on several major news outlets that American billionaire investor Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway, purchased 21 million shares of Barrick Gold, worth around $563 million US dollars. This is something investors like Buffett, known as value investors, have never done before. According to Morgan Creek partner Jason A. Williams, Bitcoin is the next thing for Buffett to score, and he will buy it soon. Gold and Bitcoin have been in a rivalry as a store of value and as a viable instrument or investment. While gold is physically tangible, Bitcoin is generally referred to as digital gold. So Buffett buying gold shares could mean that it's only a matter of time before he considers buying Bitcoin as well. The gesticulation is a huge milestone in the history of investment and could be very good for gold, which has itself been doing well. Forbes, Decision, Shares, Munger found interesting gold. There's just a lot going around right now about Warren Buffett. Even this one right here, it says from Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser said that Warren Buffett will start panic buying Bitcoin at 50K, just like Peter Schiff. I believe, and I'm not going to even name any names, I think a lot of these people already own Bitcoin. I don't think, logically, if they did, then my actual goodness. I don't think logically that any of even the people who have been the strongest opponents to Bitcoin would have let an opportunity like this pass by in any way. I think they probably at least put around $500,000 into something Bitcoin-esque. And I don't know if that's Bitcoin futures. I don't know if it's some other form of a Bitcoin derivative, if it's a Bitcoin ETP or an ETN or an ETF in one of the Nordic countries where they had these things allowed, or simply if they told someone to go buy $500,000 worth of Bitcoin over the counter. I don't know what it is, but I can feel in my bones, just based off of the news, that every other person who has ever spoken negatively about Bitcoin now is telling other people to go buy Bitcoin. Same with Jamie Dimon as well. They all own Bitcoin in some sort of way. I don't think that is going to necessarily be panic buying, but I think it's going to be a, oh crap, we should have bought more earlier buy. I guess that's kind of panic buying. Yeah, you can kind of say that. Panic buying to me indicates that they have none and they're like, okay, we have to jump on this right now, which is definitely going to be another conversation that we're going to have for a lot of people who end up getting into Bitcoin right as it hits 50K, realizing that many of them can't own an entire Bitcoin ever anymore. So the news is, and there was also someone else who also said something about like start buying Bitcoin as well. Apparently, well, not even apparently, this guy has been buying Bitcoin. I'm going to assume it's not just him who's been buying it. Probably other people in his office as well probably also own Bitcoin, as do other members of his family. I mean, the amount of accumulation that's happening is wonderful. I knew it was going to happen. I had hoped for a very long time that the accumulation had really hoped that the accumulation would have begun heavily with people who are in countries that are undergoing heavy inflation and or hyperinflation. I know it's not the most easiest thing for them to be able to do, especially if you're undergoing hyperinflation, but for people to kind of look for alternatives. So the scale has shifted massively, and now rich people are in huge possession of Bitcoin. And these are the rich people who come out forward and say that they've done so. Remember the news that we also got from, what was it, Grayscale released their Bitcoin. Was it Grayscale? I think it was Grayscale. Their buy Bitcoin commercial. And I think, what was it? The next week they got like $400 million worth of Bitcoin that was also added to. I mean, it's just, these numbers are staggering and a lot of people just aren't paying attention. So anyway, to finish this entire thought, what's going to end up happening now is, rich people are here. They own nearly all the Bitcoin. They're going to continue accumulating more Bitcoin. As they accumulate more Bitcoin, the Bitcoin's price is eventually going to continue rising and skyrocketing. And I once again had hoped there would be other people who would have been able to profit heavily from all of this, but that's just how it goes. I have other ideas as to what could potentially happen, but I think that has to be in its own video as far as like the transfer of wealth that isn't going to happen. That's simply already happening. So the news is apparently everyone's kind of going crazy over this and talking about it. Warren Buffett's going to be buying Bitcoin apparently very soon. Question mark, question mark, question mark. And to finish things off, digital asset manager Galaxy Digital has one-upped Grayscale Investments with a full-page ad in the Financial Times. And unlike Grayscale's recent marketing play, this one actually clearly mentions Bitcoin. Apparently, people had a problem with Grayscale not exclusively saying the word Bitcoin, that they said get into crypto. So I guess Galaxy Digital one-upped them by writing the actual word Bitcoin. In uncertain times, Bitcoin is a hedge independent of hegemony, this the ad says. The ad positions Bitcoin's hard-coded fixed supply and consequent scarcity as a hedge against risks, such as inflation that arise from economic uncertainty. For crypto Twitter onlookers, the simplicity of the message ticked all the boxes. Even Grayscale's founder and CEO, Barry Silbert, said, "Big ad for Bitcoin in the FT today from Galaxy Digital. Love it," he wrote. So the ad says, now is the time to invest in Bitcoin, period. In uncertain times, yada yada, the world is in a flux and the status quo is shifting before our eyes as we grapple with as much uncertainty and buy Bitcoin. Yeah. This is the one major thing that I said before that's happening. I think rich people have, their pockets are full. They're walking down the streets and we can't tell that their pockets are full because their pocket has a flash drive in it with 35,000 Bitcoin. Let's see where this takes us. I assume other people are definitely looking into this right now. A lot of the wealthiest people on the planet have just come out outright and said, buy Bitcoin. So I think that is going to be the rally call. And for some reason, I'm not really sure why, but a lot of people are saying, the richest analysts out there, that between the next 8 to 10 weeks, that's going to be the big boom. We will see. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, Snacky Chan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Steuer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight, Owl, 242 to the World, Crypto Joe, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Coldy 3D, Damien Setsuna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Garner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Arfmedic17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. At the moment, the market's green now. Before I started the video, the entire market was in red. And I don't mean like half the market. I mean like it was just all red. Bitcoin appears to be moving up in price. It's currently at 11,860. This slight movement up right here has caused these things to all completely go into the green. There's even like a little dip right here on Tether, which I assume means Tether's being sold off and crypto's being accumulated. Yeah, maybe this is, what was that article that did we even go over that? Did I read it myself? I think I read that myself. What, did I? I don't remember. The point was, there was an article that said like what's the best time to buy Bitcoin? I don't think I read that with you guys. And I think they said the best time is Sundays, but I think even they mentioned that it wasn't always, that perfect, but for some reason Sunday tends to be a very lull day for the markets, and Monday usually is like a skip back up. So saith that article. Yeah, it looks like everything is trying to move back up right now. BSV is number 9. We are so close. This needs to be completely knocked out of the top 30. I think the cryptocurrency space would have so much more legitimacy if BSV just, the fact that it's even if it was number 16, that's still too close to any legitimate cryptocurrencies. Tron is up by 16%. Is it still off of the Waves news? That's absolutely incredible. Can you imagine if Bitcoin went up by 16% off of news that it was using Waves or touching Waves, or Waves was going to partner with it? Bitcoin doesn't even go up 16% when we hear that it's being accumulated in mass. So good job, Tron. VeChain Thor is up. Neo is up. Just about everything is really like pumping in the last like hour or so. Of course, Lend is up. BitTorrent token is also, I mean, woof. This has to be it. Waves is also up by 29%. It has to be that symbiotic thing. Omise Go is also up by 55%. We haven't had Omise Go news since 1973. It's been quite a while. Quantum is up, and I do hope that through all the madness that you enjoyed, I do hope that you continue to do your own research. I do hope that you understand that I am not a wizard or a genie, and I don't make things happen. I simply predict them based off of all the information that I have accumulated and gathered myself. We are on the cusp of something either great and monumental or absolutely insanely terrifying price-wise. No one knows what's going to happen, but either way, something big is about to take place, and I need everyone to be prepared for it either way. Hope you're all having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.